Hello, welcome to yet another YouTube creation of mine, all about the humble domestic vacuum cleaner. Today I've had a request, well, not today, it was a few weeks ago. I keep teasing folks saying I'm going to do this, and I'm finally doing it. This is going to be a little video, an introduction and a demonstration of Sebo's top of the line vacuum cleaner, the D4 Premium. And this is sort of positioned in the market with the likes of high-end Miele's, etc. And unusually in the UK, this machine has a power-driven head. They're becoming very scarce. You can just catch it here, look. There we are. There's a power-driven head there. Oh, I can't get it in shot. Look, let's get it in shot. So it actually has its own electric motor to drive the brush roll, and in the UK they used to be fairly common, machines with a rotating brush. Miele certainly used to offer two models in their Revolution series that had a rotating brush bar, but currently you can get this model, this Sebo D4 Premium. Sebo also do a K3 Premium, which is basically a scaled down version of this. It's an older model, but it's a more compact version of this. I do hope to get one of those in the near future, so I will show you the differences between the two. Pneumatic, who make the popular Henry, they offer a Henry Turbo, which has an electrically driven head. It's not very widely available. Dyson did do a motorhead version of one of their cylinder bagless cleaners, but I'm not sure if that's still current. I don't think it is. You might still be able to pick it up. And I think that's about it. There's a company, if you look at my videos, called Vertime. Again, not very widely available in the UK. So as far as availability goes, although the Sibo isn't as widely available as a lot of cleaners, the Sibo is probably currently the most widely available vacuum in the UK market that you can actually get a Powerhead for. So it's a big behemoth of a machine, this. It's a beast. It's a big hulking brute of a vacuum cleaner. Large capacity internally. The bag is very large. It has a very long 12-metre cable, which as far as I know is about the longest you can get on a cylinder machine. Pneumatic Henrys, I believe, are 10 metres, but Sibo give you an extra 2 metres. So this machine really, I would say, is best for a larger home because it's a big cleaner. I'll give you a comparison to Miele's S8 model in size, and you might get a rough idea of how different they are. So it's a big, fat, you could just cuddle it, couldn't you? It's a big fat thing. I don't take them to bed anymore. I used to as a child. I didn't have teddy bears. I used to snuggle up with my Hoover Sensortronics or compacts and dream of a land where vacuum cleaners roamed the streets. No, I didn't. No, I didn't do that. Anyway, let's just get on with the show, the demo. I'll do a bit of this sort of sat in front of the camera, and then I'll give you some relief from this, and get behind the camera where I should be all the time, and then get into more depth. But I could just sort of give you an overview while I'm sat here on the sofa. So I've just shown you the bag in here, which is a large fabric type bag. Not as good, in my experience, as the Miele bags. The Miele bags, from my experience, as I say, do not let any dirt through, any visible dirt anyway. In the dust container, let me just take this bag out. In the dust container of a Miele, you will not find, or it's very unusual for you to find, any notice of dirt, any noticeable dirt in the machine at all. With the Sibo, I found I do get some visible dust in the compartment. So the bag doesn't filter quite as well. Now, I'm not saying that the machine that exhausts the machine that exhausts the cleaner, I can't edit this, so I'll just carry on. Sorry, the air that exhausts the cleaner, I'm not saying that's not going to be very clean, but the bag isn't quite as effective of holding onto the dirt as a Miele bag in my experience. But here is the bag compartment. As you can see, it's very, very smooth, and unusually you'd normally get here at the bottom, which is common with most cylinder cleaners, there would be a grill and a Premotor filter. With Sibo, very unusual, the filter is here in the lid of the machine, and when you need to replace the filter, because they're not washable, they are supposed to be replaced, you just remove the whole filter here. That gets replaced alongside the other filter, which I'll show you. Now, the advantage of replacing this is not only are you replacing the filter, you're replacing the seal that seals the bag compartment. So you're renewing the seal every time you renew the filter. So with the Sibo, if I can get the filter back in, the air, instead of being pulled through the bag at the back of the machine, the air is actually being pulled through the top of the bag. So in theory, Sibo say that it's not actually, the motor isn't working as hard because it's not having to pull suction through a load of dirt. What's happening is the dirt, well, the suction is pulling it really from the top of the bag where there is space. So the dirt can be in the bottom of the bag and the machine is still getting the suction. So even when the bag is quite full, I've not noticed a drop in performance or suction. There may be a slight drop, but I haven't got the technical equipment to test for that. But in domestic use, I've not noticed any drop. The bag is huge. It's an ultra bag. I can't give you the specs on that. I think it's about 6 litres. But if you need to know anything more technical that I'm going to show you, you can go onto Sibo's website in your country, whether you're in the US, Europe or the United Kingdom. The bag has this little closure. It's not a self-closure like you'd get on the Miele. You do have to close that tab yourself. And it locates very easily. You just pop it in, push it down, and a little metal device here moves. That's just the thing that stops you from trying to use the machine without a bag in. You won't be able to close the bag door unless you've fitted the bag. So the bag goes in, and before we close the door, we make sure we open it, and it's a very big opening into the bag. So blockages in this machine would be quite rare, in my opinion. I've never blocked any vacuum cleaner actually, but then again I don't try and suck up things that the vacuum isn't supposed to. So that's nice. You've got the swivel hose, which is an electrically connected hose. You have a little connector here and a socket here. It doesn't rotate 360 degrees. It does have a stop, so you don't get the full rotation that Miele offered on their Powerhead cleaners. It stops there, rotates all the way around, and then it will stop again at the other side. Underneath, let's just pop that down in case it falls. Underneath the hose inlet, we've got the bag full indicator. Basically a spring and piston system that turns red as the bag fills. I've never relied on a bag full indicator in my life. There's some things you can't rely on in life, and one thing is the bag full indicator, in my view. It's always best. It'll give you a rough guide if it's starting to show red. It'll give you a rough guide, but periodically just open the lid and just check your bag. But a lot of people, well, in the past, of course, if it stopped picking up, you'd check the bag to see if it was full. But with a lot of modern bagged vacuum cleaners, especially that use the fleecy type of bag, they can be filled to capacity without them having a noticeable drop in suction. It's true of this machine, and it's true of all the Mieles I've used, especially when you use the latest Miele High Clean bag. Got Sebo branding here, and here is your main on-off switch. It's foot operated or hand operated, and there's an illuminated display that lights up when you're using the machine, and also there's a display that comes on when the machine is plugged in. And under that we have a foot operated automatic flex rewind. system there. Right, let's just take the hose off so I can give you a bit of a... I might be able to do a lot of this actually from my seated position. Little bit of dog hair flew out then. I hope you'll excuse it. Right, so there's the front of the machine. Here's the side of the cleaner, and it has what I really like about Sebo cylinder vacuums is the air belt they have here. It's a soft lycra coated belt that goes the entire circumference of the vacuum cleaner, round the back and round the front. So if you're very rough with your vacuum cleaners, if you like it rough, you can bang this about into your furniture, and you shouldn't damage your furniture because the soft and squidgy air belt will hopefully absorb most of the impact. The other thing that the air belt does, apart from protect your cleaner and your furniture, the exhaust air expels through it, so it diffuses the exhaust air, not quite round the whole air belt. There's certain parts where there are holes. Here I can feel the holes, just here, and at the other side corresponding this holes there. So the air exhausts throughout the front sides of the machine. So you're not getting a big blow of air like with a Miele. You've got the air coming out of the top of the machine. You're not getting that with this. It diffuses the air, so you're not getting a big blast of hot air. It comes out more gently. At the back of the cleaner, instead of having your tools inside, which I do like, this is a compromise, but it's better than having the tools clipped to the handle or the hose. But of course you can't access these tools when you're using the machine on its end, like doing the stairs. You're vacuuming the stairs, you think, oh, I'll just get the dusting brush to do the side. You've got to lift the machine up to get at them. But underneath, you have a good long crevice tool, longer than the crevice tool you get on the Miele, but there are longer tools available, but that's an average sort of length of crevice tool there. Then we've got the general purpose nozzle. You'd use that for your stairs and upholstery, your curtains, just general cleaning. And finally here we've got the dusting tool, which is a little triangular shaped tool that gets into corners, and you can adjust the angle of the tool, various positions, whether you want to clean up high or low down around your skirting board. You can just swivel that and adjust it. All the tools do fit in neatly into the back. I have found with my Sebo D4 Storm, which is a red cleaner, which if you look at my other videos you'll see just a video of that being used and unboxed. No talking on that one. I don't have that machine anymore, but what problem I had with it, this tool kept falling out all the time, just kept dropping out. Now I've not had that problem with this machine. It does seem to click in better, so whether I just had a rogue machine or there was a rogue batch, because I do recall reading reviews that other people have had the same problem with tools dropping out, but so far it's stayed in place. Got carry handle here. It's a good solid carry handle, but you need it. It is quite a heavy machine. So if you've got dexterity problems, you have trouble lugging things up and down stairs, don't get this machine. It's a good machine, but it is heavy. Underneath we've got 4 swivel casters, and they are very strong and very manoeuvrable. And this little round window, let's see what's through the round window, shall we? Only certain people of a certain age might know what I'm talking about there. We'll look through the round window today. Anyway, we're going to open the round window and see what's inside. It looks very disgusting and black, but that is mainly the carbon dust from the motor. This is your final filter. When you replace the filters in this Sibo, you get a pack that has this filter in it and the bag compartment filter. And in here is where we have the motor, all nicely sealed and insulated. All nicely sealed. This is a sealed system. Everything is sealed. This unusual shape, this comes off. I won't show you because it's a bit of a faff, but that just comes off, and then you just basically pop the new filter over this cage, and I think Sibo recommend about once a year replacing that. So that's something to factor in, the cost of bags and filters for the Sibo. They are cheaper to maintain than a Miele. Obviously not as cheap as a bagless cleaner, but there are swings and roundabouts with bagless. There's far less maintenance. Basically, if you want to keep your cleaner working efficiently, replace your filters every year and replace your bags when they need it. There's no messy bag emptying, there's no other filters to wash. So you take your choice. If you want bagless and no additional costs, you've got to put up with more maintenance if you want your cleaner to last longer. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to last. But you can abuse a bagged cleaner more than you can a bagless. A cheap bagless cleaner isn't going to last as long, in my experience, as a cheap bagged cleaner. Not that I've had either, so I can't comment, but it's what I would assume to be the case. You do see a lot of bagless cheap cleaners on the tip, but then they are most popular at the moment. But who knows, the tide may turn and people might see, well, no, bags are better. I've got allergies, I don't want to deal with all this muck when I'm emptying the bin. I just want a hygienic bag, and I'll put up with that, the extra cost of buying the bags. But once you bought a Sibo or a Miele or a decent quality cleaner, you should have it for a lot longer than a cleaner you can buy at the supermarket. I'm just generalising there, but it tends to be the case. Underneath, this machine has a maximum wattage of 2,100 watts, which is quite high. You can of course vary the power, and of course then you've got the additional wattage provided by the Powerhead. On the back, didn't show you, on the back we've got a little parking slot there. It doesn't work when you've got the Powerhead on, it works when you've got the normal nozzle on. And you've also got a parking bracket at the back here. Again, that only works when you're using like a parquet nozzle or the regular nozzle, a carpet and floor nozzle. You don't need to use it with the power nozzle because it does stand up on its own. That's the cleaner. Let's show you the tools. Now you get a nice long hose with this machine. It is longer. Again, I can't tell you the specs offhand, but I know it is longer than the Miele cleaners. Miele have increased the length of their hose on their S8 model, but it's still not as long as, I think it's 2.1 metres, I think, is the length of hose on this machine. So it's a nice length of hose. It's also tapered, so it's much, much thicker at this end than it is at this end. This is supposed to increase airflow through the hose, and it also obviously reduces risking blocking the hose because it does get much, much wider. I can't get my fingers around the hose at that end, but I can easily get them around there. Now on the end of the hose, got a handle here, which, to be honest, isn't as comfortable to hold as the handle you get with the Miele, the top remote controlled Mieles. It's not as comfortable to hold. It's not uncomfortable in my opinion, but it's not as comfortable. And it's a little bit more basic. All you get with this cleaner, the controls are a plus and minus buttons. So you turn the machine on by pressing one of the buttons, and then the machine automatically starts up and it ramps up to high speed unless you start to press the minus button and reduce the power. So it's basically plus minus, and when you want to turn it off you just keep your finger on the minus button and the machine will turn off. This, some people have said, is a weak point. With all the Sibos I've owned, I've never had any trouble with this personally, but you've got the wire here. Unlike the Miele Powerhead machines, the wire is built into the handle. This is exposed on the Sibo, so it is more prone to being damaged. But as I say, I've never had a problem with this. It does come off. But then again, you see, I do look after my things, I don't batter them about, so I can't comment in a regular household who doesn't treat things as well as I do if that's going to fail. But Sibo do have a 5-year parts and labour guarantee, so they certainly do in the UK anyway. So I'm not over concerned with that. So that's the hose. You get the tube. It's lighter than a Miele tube because it's part plastic. Again, I'm not so sure I like this setup because you've got really, this carries the mains cable to the power head, this part here, and it's on the outside of the tube. It's not as neat as having it built into the tube like a Miele, but this tube is a lot lighter than the tube you get with the Powerhead Mieles, so it is more convenient when you're using it high up if you want to get the cobwebs or you do your curtains, or in America especially if you have ceiling fans. This is much lighter to handle. But it's still, you know, it's durable enough. You've got the current carrying connectors, you've got a connector at this side, and you've got the connector at that side which connects to the power head. And you've got the adjustable little button there so you can compact it for storage and then have it whatever length you want up to that length. Final thing to show you on this machine is the Sebo ET1 power head. This is the same power head you get supplied with the Felix upright cleaners, and so it's basically the same. You get 4-position manual height control, none of this automatic nonsense with the Sebo X series. A lot of people like the automatic height control on a Sebo upright. I personally don't like it. I don't feel that it gets deep enough into the carpet. It just seems to skim the pile of the carpet from my experience. So I'd much rather have the option of adjusting the height control. So you've got 4 positions here. You've got an on-off switch here which glows green when the machine's being used. That is another slight, I wouldn't say fault, but it's a niggle I have with this cleaner. It is a little bit hard to press that button if you've just got your socks on or bare feet. It's quite small and difficult to press. Would be nice, a redesigned nozzle would be nice to have a larger nozzle, larger switch at the back of the nozzle, or even better, have the nozzle on-off switch actually on the handle, which would be far more convenient. That's what Miele do with their Revolution. You've got a light here that glows green when everything's okay. If you've got the height setting turned up too high, it will turn red just to say turn the height setting down, otherwise you're not going to pick up much. Also, it's got a safety cut-off in the head, so if you go over a sock or a carpet fringe and it sucks it in and stops the brush from rotating, it will automatically cut out and that will glow red. All you do to reset it, you just remove the blockage, turn it on and off again. Underneath, it's all very simple. It's what I like about Sebos. They are simple to maintain. You've got very good, vigorous brush roll on this. You can actually buy, if you've got more delicate carpets, wool loop pile carpets, or anything a bit more delicate, they do a green coloured brush, which it gives a softer action, although it will wear quicker than this brush. But for regular use, and certainly if you've got pets, this is ideal for cleaning up pet hair. Also underneath here, you've got this little orange doobry, which is a little trapdoor, which enables you to sort of see if you've got any blockages in there. And again, maintenance, so simple with Sebo cleaners, because they come from a commercial environment where people don't have time to unscrew things. If something goes wrong, they want to be able to fix it quickly. So what we have with the Sebo is a button here on the back of the head, and you just press it, and it says on it helpfully press. You just turn the end cap, remove that, pull out that, and then that's for easy replacement or easy cleaning. So if you've got long head pets, long head people that live in your house, yes, long hairs will wrap around this brush, but the fact you can just pull it out, it's far easier to get a pair of scissors to this and cut any excess hair off, give it a bit of a clean. You do find even in the cleanest towels, in the cleanest carpets, the brushes will start to go black. They do collect dirt. These have started a little bit of black on the tips. I actually clean these. I just put a bit of washing up liquid on them, rub it all over with my hands, give it a thorough rinse, make sure it's completely dry, and then pop it back in the machine. That's optional. You don't have to do that, but it's just something I like to do. Also, you'll find the metal strip here, basically anything that comes in that rubs up and down the carpet will eventually start to get a dark brown or to black residue on it, which also, if you let that build up, it makes the nozzle harder to push. So a little tip for you, if you've got, and if this will work with any vacuum cleaner, if you're finding it hard to push, and it might not just because it's too powerful, just turn it over, and if there's a lot of muck on the bottom of the nozzle, give it a good clean. Now what I find is very good for this is those disposable wipes, you know, like you can get a Flash or Dettol wipe, so you're not over wetting. So remove all the dirt on the wheels and the base plate, everywhere. Make sure it's dry, and then there's another little extra thing you can do, a bit of furniture polish, silicone furniture polish, spray it on the areas that come in contact with the carpet, and you'll find it glides much easier. Of course that's not going to last, because in time it will build up again, but if you do that periodically, as often as you feel the need, you will find it easier to push your cleaner. So in that goes. The other attachment you get as standard with this machine is a regular carpet and floor nozzle as well. There are various other options you can buy. You can buy a handheld turbo brush, you can buy an extension hose. I'll show you those bits. And Sibo do offer other attachments for use with this machine. So all in all, it's a very good, versatile vacuum cleaner, with the proviso that it's bulky and it's quite heavy. I'll show you the bulkiness of the machine, if I may. I may just get up, just pop that there, and I will go and fetch Miele's latest cylinder vacuum cleaner canister, the S8 range. This is in the UK, this is the base model, but they all will weigh about the same. Some have various different bits and pieces on them, but the weight will not really alter. So here is the two machines. It's very difficult to show you. Let's try and reverse. I can tell you, I'll weigh these actually for you, but this is definitely lighter than that. Yes, this is heavier because, right, it's got a much bigger bag than the bag you get in the Miele. Much bigger, plus it has a lot more cord, so that's all going to add to the weight, the cord especially. So for a larger home, if you're strong enough, or you've got a cleaner that's strong enough, the Sibo really for a bigger home can't be beat, especially the fact that it has the Powerhead, which unfortunately in this country, and I believe now in some European countries, Miele do not offer a power driven head version of this. So you're very lucky in America. And Germany, certainly you can have a Revolution version of this. They do at least two models, like they used to do in the UK, with two different power heads. The lighter power head with a softer brush, I can't remember the model of it. And then there's the bigger power head that's got the LED headlights and the adjustable height control. So it's a shame, because I would really like, I mean there's no point in doing a comparison with these two cleaners, because this is straight suction, this is Powerhead and suction. So I can't do a comparison. I would like to own one of the Miele, well the top line of this really, not the unique model, but the Powerhead version with the remote control, the one that replaced the old Revolution series, the S5 Revolutions that came before this. Why Miele UK decided not to let the UK have that option, I don't know. It's a bit of a shame. I would like to buy one. And if I get some extra money, I might import one from not America. That would cost a fortune. From Germany, it still will cost me quite a lot of money to import. About, I think, knocking on for £600, which is stupid, really. But We'll see if I win the lottery, who knows if I'll get that. But anyway, this is a good machine. I'd recommend these if you want a lighter, straight suction vacuum cleaner, or they do versions with power, not power nozzles, but air powered nozzles. Excellent. I'll be doing another video of this. I've done an unboxing of this, but it's been very popular. It's my most popular video on YouTube, this machine. Miele cleaners tend to be popular for some reason on YouTube. Obviously, because they cost a lot more than many cleaners. I think a lot of people like to do more research on them before deciding to spend that sort of money. And this machine currently, it varies in price. You can pay over $400 for this Sibo in the UK, but I can't remember how much this was. I know it was a bargain. It was well under 300. No, it was about 250, which I couldn't believe how cheap that was. But I think on average, you're talking of 300, 330, that sort of price currently for this. So it's a considered purchase, but some Dyson uprights cost as much as that or more. So there's no option with me, no question of which one I'd go for. Personally, if I had the choice, if I had 300, 400 pounds to spend, would I go for any Dyson or a decent bagged German-made vacuum cleaner? I have to say the Germans win hands down. They didn't win the war, but they do win the war in the vacuum cleaner stakes, in my opinion. Obviously you've got your own opinions. I'm not going to take anything away from that from you. You can say what you like, you can do what you like. Well, you can in the free world, but if you're not watching this in the free world, I don't know how you're watching it, but there are places where you can't say what you feel. Anyway, we're only talking about a vacuum here. I'm not going into depth. Just a vacuum. I'm not going to I'm not going to fall out with folk. If they don't agree with what I'm saying, that's fine, but whatever. Whatever. Talk to the hand. No, that's a bit old, isn't it? Do they still do that? What is it? Talk to the hand, the face ain't listening, or something? I don't know. Who knows? Right, the sun's coming out, as Kate Bush used to sing, didn't she? Katie Bush, the sun's coming out. Is that cloud busting, Daddy? I think it is. So anyway, Kate Bush, what am I talking about? Well, if you want to buy a vacuum cleaner, this is a bit boring for you. So anyway, let's get on with the show and just put this bad boy into use. Get it sucking up some dirt, which is basically what a vacuum cleaner's for, isn't it? So, thanks for this half of the presentation, for watching. If you've stuck with me this long, stay tuned for the second half, coming right up now. Well, hello, here's everything you get in the box with the Sebo D4 Premium, certainly in the UK. The main vacuum, your ET1 Powerhead, your electro extension tube, your power hose, and this nozzle, which I didn't show you previously, is very well made standard carpet and floor nozzle. So if you've got lightweight rugs that the Powerhead might be a bit too strong for, you can use this. And although the Powerhead can be used on your hard floors, because you can turn the brush off, I do find this produces better results on your hard floor surfaces. And looking a bit dirty because it has been used, you've got your standard carpet and floor nozzle there with the lint pickers, channels that go up to the edge. Ooh, look at that bit of, see, it gets used, this machine. And you've got your brushes and a very inquisitive dog. Molly, what do you think you're looking at? I know you don't like vacuums, do you? We adopted Molly fairly recently. My other, sadly we lost one of our other dogs, our Dachshunds. We've still got Daisy, who's on a bed. And the two who have grown up since they were pups in this house, well, not this house, but another house, have been used to vacuum cleaners, and so they do not bat an eyelid, no matter how many different models they see paraded up and down. But Molly, she's a little bit wary of them. So either your owner didn't do much vacuuming, or she used to torture you with it. I don't know which, but she's not as bad. You're getting a bit better. You're getting a bit more used to them, aren't you, Molly Poo? Yes? Yes. Molly doesn't shed very much. She's going to have to get clipped. So all the dog hair, the most of the dog hair, is provided courtesy of Daisy, who is too high and mighty to even appear at the moment. She'll be lounging about. Right, here we go. Beautiful, tough plastics on the Sibo. I love the construction of the Sibo. The plastics, compared certainly to these Chinese-made cleaners, it is a very nice, solid feeling vacuum cleaner. I'll disconnect the hose first off. Make sure we connect it up right. You need to get those connections into those holes there. And there's also these two little clips that hold it in. So just, it'll only go in one way. Let me just, that's it. There we are, that's clipped nicely in. And we've got the power head here. And all we do with the power head, just need to connect the handle here. Again, that's the electrical connection which goes into there. Nice, lovely, firm click. Let's just move the nozzle out. Now we'll just pull out the flex. And this will take a while, so amuse yourself please while I'm pulling it out. I always like to pull out the full length. Unless you're just doing a quick few minutes, it may not be necessary, but you might find a coiled vacuum cleaner flex that's got a lot of power running through it can get warm, so pull it out. Then once I've pulled it right out, I just like to just let it go in a couple of inches, just so I've not sort of caused any strain. We don't want that, do we? So there we are, a lot of flex. So let's just plug this in and give it a go. Right, when you initially plug the vacuum in, you will get two static LEDs to show you that your vacuum is plugged in. That is, unless you've had the machine off. So if you've turned it off with your foot or hand instead of using the remote control, then you will be greeted with that. So you need to pop your foot on and turn it on. Now, let me just zoom out. It's not very good, is it? Come on. So here we have the hand grip. As I say, just a very basic affair. Plus and minus buttons. So to turn it on, just press not the minus button, so it's the plus button. So obviously, press the plus button and release it, and the machine will ramp up to full power. Press the plus button and then start pressing the minus, and it will stay at a lower setting. So just press it once and nothing happens. Press it once properly. So it goes to full power. Now this is a little thing. Once I've had the machine on and it's now in standby, you have the lights moving up and down like that, like something out of Doctor Who. Ooh, wow. So it is a little gimmicky. It's nice to have, but it's a little gimmicky. So obviously you start off with the lowest setting. Whoops, there we are. So on the lowest power setting, it's going round slowly, and then as you press the plus button on the handle, the machine increases in speed. So we've got low, and we're going higher, higher, so I didn't count how many different settings there were, but a fair few. So obviously it's useful to be able to adjust suction, because you don't want full power for every job, especially not for your curtains. If you try vacuuming your curtains on full power, you won't have much of your curtains left, certainly with this machine. So there we have the machine. Here we have the power head. You've got a large orange lever on the back there. Now the thing I love about this power head it is far more manoeuvrable than the Powerhead on the Miele. One thing I really like about this is you can go flat under furniture and keep the handle, you see it's flat there, and the handle is in this operating position. A lot of cleaners with the heads, you've got to twist like that to get the head flat, but with the Sibo you can keep the handle straight and the head, so you can go under your furniture, you can go right under your furniture in a more comfortable position than having to twist either way to get it to lie flat. So I love that about this. It is very, very nice and manoeuvrable. So we'll give it a quick going over, shall we? Now I never normally use this on full suction, maybe 1 or 2 steps from full when I'm using it, because I don't need as much power. It's more than adequate. So let's turn it on. And the Powerhead, unless I've switched it off, should turn on when I turn the machine on. So there we have the green light to indicate that everything's okay. If I was to use the machine on a higher setting, that might not register. Let's have a look. No. Just have to lift it up a bit. That light, the amber light, comes on to say that it's too high. Or it'll also, if it's too low, like if you've got a very long pile carpet and you've got the brush set too low, then it probably will cut off the head anyway, because it'll feel resistance. It's all to protect the toothed. It's supposed to have a lifetime belt. It's a toothed belt, so it won't slip. It won't lose the power like a flat belt can do. Flat belt can stretch. So I tend to use setting 2 for this low pile carpet, sometimes setting 1. Setting 2 seems to be the best, but sometimes if I want to lift the pile, I would do it on probably setting 3, but put the machine on maximum suction, and then you can actually see the pile being lifted, which creates a cushion of air under the pile and helps to beat out the dirt. Very like the old-fashioned Hoover beats as it sweeps as it cleans action. So here we go. Molly, you leave it. So let's turn it on and up the power somewhat. And get cleaning. So there we have it, Sebo D4 Premium. Picked up all that mess that I put down on the carpet. That mess was a mixture of several emptyings of a bagless vacuum cleaner coupled with some rice and sugar. I rubbed it into the pile, a lot of dog hairs in that, and did a fantastic job. And it's such a nice machine to use. It's quiet, it's quality, and you know, for a lot of my YouTube videos I've recently been testing some much cheaper vacuum cleaners, Chinese made vacuum cleaners, and although for the money they are good, it is nice to remember what quality feels like, and certainly this machine oozes quality out of every pore. So I hope that's been of interest to the subscriber that asked for it, and anybody else who may be thinking of buying a Sibo. Like I say, it's a bulky machine and it's quite heavy, but when you're actually using it, it's very easy to use because the Powerhead virtually moves on its own. You just guide it where you need it to go. And it's well built, it's quiet, and it should last you quite some time. If you've liked this video, please subscribe to my channel where I'll be uploading even more, and shortly I will be uploading an unboxing and a demonstration, if it arrives. It's due today, of a completely different beast to this. We're going from a top-end cleaner to a much lower-end cleaner. I'll be demonstrating and unboxing a Hoover Pure Power Green Ray bagged cylinder vacuum cleaner, which is coming direct from Hoover UK today at some point. So from me, Roger, and my Sebo D4 Premium, thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to uploading more, and hopefully you will enjoy them. Bye for now.